Wednesday. Yeah. Um, but they closed a lot of roads now, and that was supposed to be really easy, just like only straight ahead. But yeah, I had to find another way. Google couldn't help me. It was terrible. But anyway, yeah, yeah, we got it. We got it. Yeah, really. Oh, okay. Um, I'm doing the slides in full screen now, so I cannot read the messages. I have no clue if someone asked a question. So if they do, if you can help me with that, Marlon, that would be great. Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Um, okay. Well, guys, nice to see you here, and sorry for keep you waiting. Yeah, my name is Niels. Most people cannot pronounce it because most of our customers and traders are in the US and they say Niles or Neil, but it doesn't really matter for me. But the right way to pronounce it is Niels. Anyway, so I've been trading for like, well, it's 10 years this year. Yeah, 10 years full time. So it's been a while. Also founded AMS Trading Group in the meanwhile. I'm still trading for a firm in Amsterdam now. So from the exchange building, which is actually pretty cool. It's actually the old building where they like were shouting back in the days, you know. Of course, that doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, the whole floor is now like all set up with big screens, and well, I'm trading for like three. I have like three. What are they, like 60-inch screens or something? They're huge. No, 50, I think. A 50-inch, something like that. Um, but yeah, that's kind of how it looks now over there, um, which is nice. Um, but what I'm going to tell you about order flow and all the tools that we made, and how it started was kind of that I needed it myself. Um, so in the beginning, I found some programmers and they started making stuff, and yeah, after a while, it became a bit popular, and didn't got the time, so now I have people who do that for me, which is great, of course, because I want to. My main thing is just trading, and but I also like to help people, and so if I can help people with trading, which is, well, it's pretty much the hardest thing you probably ever will do. Yeah, that's something that I like to do as well. So um, let's go to the next slide. I actually made slides this time. Usually I just show my screen and I just go like talk about what happened that day, and I'm gonna do that as well. But I also want to give you some kind of, you know, guidance about what we're gonna talk about. So if there are any questions already, just Marlene, if I don't know, probably not, but just let me know. Mm, so the main tools that I work with is the market profile chart. Well, basically, it's just a volume profile actually. So I split them by the overnight session, the RTH session, and yeah, that's what I use with like doing the bigger levels. Then we have the second point is the Delta Print. That's basically the footprint chart. Um, and I got into like order flow. It's a long time ago. I think it's like in I think in 2012 or something, I guess. Wasn't that popular by then. That's why I also had to write some stuff, coding the stuff, or someone else to do that for me. But anyway, and book flow, and that's just a presentation of the historical order flow with in combination with the real-time order flow. So that's basically the order book, what you see, and the historical order book, right? Um, and what I'm going to talk about is like what do I see, what does it mean, and how do I use it? Um, because usually my previous presentations were, I think, in the end a little bit messy. So I'm trying to make that better for you. And if that's the case, or it's not the case, I mean, let me know. but I'm gonna do my best. So the first one, the market profile, and that's what you see here. Can you guys see that? It's a little bit blacked out because it's on the background, but I think you can kind of see what's about. Um, so basically, it's just usually I use a 30-minute candlestick chart, uh, just that, with some volume profiles, and I look at the volume from the previous days, or I combine some kind of volume, um, what's been going on, and use that to define my levels. Um, and I'll show you an example for that right now. And I hope you can see the how it's gonna work, because this is my. Can you see the charts, Martin? Can I see the chart now? Okay, good. So this is my remote server that I use for testing. So I'm not sure it's actually gonna work all the time. Uh, hold on. All right, so hold on. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so I'm gonna. This is kind of like the main chart that I use to do like bigger level support and resistance. So, for example, let's say I use this area here, because it's a low volume area right after a high volume area. Do you guys know what HVNs and LVNs are? Just a quick yes or no. And Marlon, if you can help me. Do they know? HVNs, LVNs? Do you guys know what it is? No? All right. Cool. Yeah, no problem. So HVN is high volume node, LVN is low volume node, and well, it's pretty simple actually if you know what it means. So HVN is high volume node. So let's say on this chart, it's kind of like a cluster, but this could, well, this altogether is high volume, right? So usually you take one price as a node, um, but in this case, I think you can take it like a cluster, high volume area, sort of, and a low volume one. Let me draw that on here. That's right where I do the line, right? That's a low volume area, and here as well. So this is also low volume, right? And the thing about low volume is, if you think about it, why is it low volume, right? So they either moved through it really quick, so it meant those prices were not that interesting, or they were bouncing against it the whole time and just rejecting, right? So in this case, they blew through it pretty quick with the overnight session, right? Here, you can see the drawings, right? Yeah, probably. So at the overnight, they blew through it pretty quick, but you can see it's still holding up as an LPN. And when it's actually the RTH, uh, well, it was the low of the RTH, right? Okay. So the LVN of the overnight became an well, also an LVN on the RTH. So that would be a level that I would be interested in either buying or selling. Depends if it comes from above or below. In this case, I would be interested in buying, which I didn't today. There, I think no. Um, but anyway, it turned out to be a good location, right? Um, and the thing is, like, they're all people, well, or algorithms, but let's say they're all people who are trading, right? So if you um, have to do high volume, you want to do it in an area where there's high volume trading, right? So at an HVN, Um, but when it moves away and it comes back, there are a lot of people who are offsides there or are losing their profits, or like if someone sold there, um, then they want to like they want to go lower, obviously. But if it goes higher and comes back, they are more likely to buy it back than just to let it go against them again. And if someone bought them, they lost all the profits, so they might reconsider, or maybe adding. You don't know, but if it's coming back to an HVN, it's likelier. You're likely to stall there, go back and forth, and with an LVN, it's kind of not, because previously that price was not interesting as well, because they either ignored it, or they used it as resistance because they didn't want to trade that price, right? So yeah, that's kind of what I use where I use the market profile for. Um, and yeah, that's kind of what I want to say about that for now. Um, and yeah, what does it mean? Yeah, well, it's where I get my daily levels from, and also longer term levels. Um, and when we have that, then I kind of zoom in with the Delta Print. That this is my main chart. It's a footprint chart. Like it splits the bid and ask volume. Yeah, I have to ask. Have you seen this? Have you seen this before? Yes or no? It splits the volume that traded at a bid and volume traded at the ask. Have you guys seen that? Yes or no? Marlene, if you can help me with that. Sorry? Oh, the one is overnight and the other one is RTH. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, it's the same. I just cannot use the name because it's trade marketed. But yeah, no idea. uh, I kind of use footprint, uh, but not in the software because we cannot use it. But it's the same. It's pretty much the same. So yeah, yeah, all good. Yep. All right. Cool. So let's scroll back a bit to when we were open. Oh. All right. So mm, yeah, I haven't looked that much at the yesterday because I was trading the DAX. Um, I'm hearing an echo on your mic, I think, Marlon. No problem. Um, yeah, so this is my main chart. What you see on the right side is it's still on, I think. At least I'm hearing myself. Doesn't sound that good, so. um, okay, so on the right side, the most right profile is the combination of the last 5 days. The middle one is the profile of yesterday's volume, and the most left profile is the current one. Um, so today's volume profile, and the colors are the difference. But it's like the delta of that price. So if they're more sellers, then it's red. If they're more buyers at that price, then it's blue. And if it's more or less the same, it's more to the white. So the overnight. Well, I have a few statistics that I like to see. So we have the overnight high. Um, the IB high, RTH mid, VPOC, so that's the highest volume. The right way is like volume point of control. I just say POC, but it's not really correct, but anyway. Previous RTH high, overnight mid, IB low, RTH low, which of course is the low of which was set over here, and settle at the bottom. So that's the previous close, RTH close, right? So those are kind of like the things that I want to see and what I use in my own trading. And when we look at, what was it? Well, actually, the low was pretty close to the overnight mid. But did we have? Yeah, we didn't have a huge overnight range, but still, the mid was exactly where the RTH stopped, pretty much 2 ticks off. So that will be something that I would look at, and we already saw in the market profile chart that it was an LVN area, right? So we wanted to look for a rejection at that point anyway, and it happened today. So that's kind of nice. And the reason that I just take today's chart is just because it's the most recent chart, and I cannot cherry pick some kind of perfect examples. I just want to show you what happened today, and if that works, that's good. If it doesn't, well, yeah, that's too bad. But yeah, in this case, it worked pretty nicely. And we had some, it was a nice rejection. Yeah. Right, like little test below the VWAP as well. So yeah, that's one indicator that I look at. The VWAP. VWAP is volume volume weighted average price, and well, the reason that I look at it is because a lot of algorithms are trading around it, and also because institutions and big traders, they have to trade at a VWAP because otherwise they cannot like trade that much volume, because like it's like the average of volumes, right? So they can trade a lot of contracts at that point without like impacting the market too much, and that's why it's so important. So for the rest, what you see is so the split of the bid volume and ask volume, and what you also see is the profiles overlaying it, and the way it's set up right now, that's the automatic setting. That the orange bar is the highest volume what you can see in the chart right now. And if that's the case, then everything around it becomes relative to that highest volume. So you can see very easily where high volume is and where low volume is. And so you can know what you should pay attention to. And that helps me a lot. And it will probably help you too. So let's say if I see, well, here, right, this block. And if you see at the bottom, there's a tiny LVN, but it's in this bar. This is the LVN, right, in the middle. So it's kind of like a small micro distribution, right? That the market is executing at that time, and the pullback to that was also 3.25 points, which is pretty. It's a pretty common swing right now. So in this area, you could look for long setups if your bias is long, of course, which it should be, I guess, at that point. But you could buy pullbacks into the LVN of the volume that's just been created, and then try to either take it to the other high volume point or expecting a new high. But anyway, that's your call. But so that's kind of how I look at it, and how I look at where volume comes out and where it should retest. So let's scroll a little bit further if there's something else interesting. Okay, so right now, so you see the high volume switch to this bar. Can you see the mouse, by the way? I hope so, because otherwise I just... Okay. Marlon, can I see the mouse? The cursor? Okay, good, thanks. So when it moved up, a rectangle, it kind of did the same thing, right? So here made another cluster, right? and it went 2 ticks further than that one, but still 3 or 350 or whatever. It's a pretty common swing. It still did that, right? So let's say you bought it. Well, let's say you bought it a little bit higher. Let's say you bought it like here. Let me try to do that one. So let's say you bought 91. You probably won't use a 1 point stop in the ES. At least I don't. When I do, I usually get stopped out. So stop doing that. But let's say you did that, and you could use like well, on a 1 point stop, you would have stopped out right at the low, right? But in the six tick stop would have worked, but I probably would use a 2 point stop anyway. But let's assume you would do that. So you would buy the low end of the profile that's being formed, which is a pretty good distribution, right? If you like a normal distribution, like that you had, I don't know, like probably at high school, like with mathematics, like a normal distribution. Well, this is exactly like that, but then it's like vertical. And that's how they do that. So and then they tested down the low area of that with an LVN right here, and then they moved it back higher. So it's pretty much the same. And it's pretty boring actually because it went up and down so much. But anyway, so the first test you would have bought it, and then after that, I kind of, if they do that again, I kind of lose my edge or my willingness to enter again. But anyway, so but it worked the first time here as well. What else happened? Oh, right here. So oh, that's where we are now. Okay. So what's happening over here? So we made another high volume over here, right? A new bar with high volume. So we knew already that the high volume was forming before over here, right? And look where they stalled, where they found resistance, right? That, do you think that's a coincidence? Well, yeah, I don't think so, because those people who bought it here, and there are quite a few, they saw this rejection here and moving it up right into the high volume bar, right? So the high volume bar, that hole in it kept it down, and then they bought it up right into the resistance zone from the high volume, and which kind of also finished the, let me try to draw line. It also finished the end of the normal distribution of that one, right? Oh, well, doesn't really work. Pretty bad at drawing, I see. But anyway, I think you get the point. Or not, let me know then. So that would be a setup again with looking at the profiles, how they put out volume. And because this was a 7-point move down, for me that validates going short instead of going long, because here the down moves are pretty small. Like I said, the normal swings in the ES are around 3 points. So let's say you got 3/4, you got 250, you got 375, and then it made the high here. Then we had 750 down, 375 up, 250 down. Well, I think you can see the point now, right? So that's, they do it in like swings that are usually the same size, unless they break that size and go to an extension. Like here with the 750, that's a lot more than well, the swing that we had before, right? So yeah, for example, the 375, then we go 750. Well, that's exactly 2 times the swing size, so that it breaks the up move, kind of, right? It breaks the up move in the swing sizes. So that's what I look at. It's still also very possible that we're going higher, because we're still above the VWAP, we're still above the overnight high, still above the IV high, still above the RTH mid, and above the POC, the VPOC, sorry. So, nothing goes up forever, nothing goes down forever. So that's what makes it fun, of course. But this gives you a really good perspective of where you should look at, and or keep you out bad trades. Marlene, I think, is there a question? Oh yeah, yeah. That's our own bar type. The AMS reversal bar. You might know that from someone else. Um, it's built of um, swings or no, well, reversals. That's why it's called reversal. So if there's a bar that's going up forever and does like, can you see the setting? It's 10 ticks now. AMS 10 T left at the top left. And that's the setting right now. So that means it stays the same bar unless it pulls back 10 ticks or more. So if there's no pullback of at least 10 ticks, it keeps building the same bar. And why does that work so good? Well, because if you use a 1 minute candle or 3 minute candle, whatever, the volume gets so blurry or so unclear of how it's forming. Because when you're using the reversal bars, you can see really see clear how the distributions are forming, where high volume is being concentrating, and you just cannot see that in a 1 minute bar. Or at least I cannot see that. I've never been able to see that. And this really me personally. You how you want to use it, you can well decide for yourself. But for me, this is the most clear way to see it and to use it. All right. Anything else I want to say about this one? I don't think so. Yeah. Um, it's better now. Yeah, sure. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Um, so that's the Delta print. Any questions about that so far? Well, it's our own bar type. Yeah. I mean, there are probably more people use it in a similar way, but this is ours. Yeah. No. All right. Good. So next thing, book flow. Well, you might have seen something similar or whatever that's available. This is our version of it, and yeah, this chart is kind of like my final trigger chart or my um, last piece of information that I need to pull the trigger. Um, yeah, it just kind of comes together for me. So first step is the market profile, like get the daily levels. Then I fine tune or look for entries in the delta print that I just showed you. And then like my trigger is kind of book flow. to see where the actual orders are in the book, and how they change that. So you can see people bidding, canceling, spoofing. You can see that too. For me, that just gives me that last piece of like confidence to actually go into the trade. And I'll show you an example of that as well. Should have that somewhere. Let me see. I hope. Where is it? Yeah, I think it's that one. No. Yeah, I wish I could use the computer at the exchange. That's where all my current setups are, but I'm not allowed to do that. And most of it isn't connected to the internet, so that's also kind of an issue. Where is it? The DAX. Yeah, all right. Yeah. No. Yeah, I'm running a beta version. I'm testing it, and that's haven't set it up yet. Or you can use DAX maybe. Similar, I mean. Yeah, something like that. So I'm not going to show you the DAX right now, because if I reload the chart, I lose the data. Let's scroll back before they close. There we go. I'm not sure when I let it run actually. Oh, I think yeah, no, that didn't run that well. Oh, it started here. That's a bit useless because it's always almost at the close. Hold on. Yeah, that's not that interesting. Let me see if that one catches up now. Well, no. Well, let's go just with the example in the chart in the slide. We actually have a new update coming out this weekend, also with a lot of improvements on book flow itself and the dome. So that's really nice. Anyway, so what you see here is bids and offers in the market and how they changed over time. And that's the chart itself. On the right side, you can see the actual order book with an histogram to see how big they are, and with right on the left of the on the left side of the bids and the right side of the offers, you can see the changes. So the delta of the order book sizes. So you can see in real time how they changed at that actual moment, and so you can see people pulling orders, moving orders, or yeah, stuff like that, and that's really interesting. So, but you can also see it in the chart itself, and that's color coded right now. The chart that you see at this moment, that's a heat map. You can also use different colors. You can use different colors for only for the like separate bit colors, separate output colors. Yeah, kind of depends what you prefer. I still not decided. I sometimes I switch a bit, but anyway, it all comes down to the same thing. So at the bottom one, that's the volume breakdown indicator. It's just cumulative delta change in the bit-ask flow. Um, but what you can see right now, is my cursor working? Yeah, I think. Yeah. At like when the ES was trading at 70-ish, you can see a lot of bits coming into the market, which halted it at that point, right? Um, they moved up and then they moved down, and then they were bidding it again, and it turned out to be the low of that, at least of that moment. Okay, so then they moved up and then they moved down again to 70. You see them pulling, like getting in bits again. So that level got really defended pretty well. And the whole time actually. So in this point was kind of weaker in my opinion. That if they went to 70 and then they pulled orders, but when they did that, they put on a lot of bits below right there at the 68 area, and so it was kind of like for me like a fake out. So now no, I don't want to buy it. Oh yes, we do, and then they just bid it back up. So that's also really interesting, and that's just something that you cannot see in the executed order flow, right? That's only, you can see only orders that are executed, and with this, you can see how they played the book, how where they put the offers and the bids, and where they canceled and where they added. So yeah, for me that's really helping a lot. Um, and that's kind of the whole process that I go through in the day. So step one is the market profile. Step two is like tuning attention to the Delta Print, and step three is finishing with book flow. And yeah, that's kind of describes my whole process of going through trades. Yeah. Um, I think that's kind of what I want to tell you right now. Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Yep. So red is bigger bits, green is decent sized bit, and the rest is just lower. That's basically it. No, no, no. It's the actual size of the bits and the offers. Yeah. Yep. 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 And you can read it back too. It's like, well, that's what I said. I'm running a beta now, so this is not running. But if you yeah, so this one doesn't do that. I have another one. Um, maybe this one. So if you hover your mouse on it, you can see the actual sizes and how they changed over time. Can you guys see that? I don't know. Yeah, it's small. Yeah, I figured, but it's showing you the size and how they changed and what price it is. So um, yeah, so that's what it's showing you. Um, you, just level two. Yeah, so if you have an order book with like ES, usually 10 levels, that works. If you use a rhythmic feed, you have unlimited levels, so I like that a lot, of course. Um, but it works with any data feed that has level two. So if you just have more than one bid and ask price, that works. But you usually have. Oh yes, it runs on Ninja. Yeah, it runs on the free version of Ninja. So you don't need a license for Ninja as well, and only in NTA. Sorry. It's my Dutch influence, I guess. A little bit. It makes sense. Oh, that's fine. I'm used to a lot of like variations of that, so no problem. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. So yeah. Oh, cool. All right. Huh. Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah, there are different options on it. You can use you can use it like a histogram that goes up and down, or a few other options. But I just like this presentation the best because you can also see the like delta divergence, right? So if price moves it up and delta doesn't, that means that yeah, well, um, their absorption rate or accumulation. And so yeah, so I like this view the best. Um, but I guess there's no right or wrong. It's just your personal preference, I guess. But yeah. Oh yeah. Um, I kind of forgot to put that in. Um, well, they can go to the website. I mean, oh, okay. No, you buy everything together because I don't think you should use one product or only Bookflow or only Delta Print or only Mark Profile so that we have just one thing all together. And that's it. Um, but to yeah, so there is more information. I can maybe type it in here or I can do that here, I guess. Whoa, hold on. So that's the website. This is the product. Um, yeah, annoying, right? Yeah. What does? Oh, that's nice. Huh, cool. Oh yeah, DOS had that, right? Yeah, that's yeah. I remember. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, that's included as well with the software. Yeah. Well, mainly trader, but yeah, yeah. They were done buying. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Right, right. Yeah, it's in a lot of ways it's similar. I looked at it too, but to me, um, the way he presents the changes in the order flow, it was just really confusing. Uh, but I'm sure it will work for some people. He also doesn't have the footprint charts, and that's my main chart. So I also think that's the main difference. And I'm not sure what else he offers. Does he offer market profile charts or whatever? I don't know. I just know his dome thing, and I know that he added a heat map, but I don't know what else he offers actually. Um, but in any case, that's probably the difference. Yeah. Sorry, what? What? From Jigsaw to me, you mean, or what's? Oh, uh, you can visit the exchange in Amsterdam for free. How's that? Yeah. Yeah, no, maybe not, but yeah, I don't know. We probably I should have thought this through. I think there's going to be an MTS discount, so um, yeah, we can set that up. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll think of something. Yeah, so that should work. Um, yeah, so that's going to be your discount. For the rest, yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's a little late here already. It's the weekend now for me. It's about 9 p.m. now. So yeah.